Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Schwan. Today we're making a new video on what if Kakashi saved Obito. So let's begin with the video without further ado. Part 1. Everything goes as can before Obito gets crushed by the rock, is about to. Kakashi has his back to Rin and is facing Obito. There's a rock falling on Obito in this moment. He starts to imagine the rock slowly falling on Obito, crushing him, breaking every part of his bones and killing him. But no, he would not allow this to happen. Obito, his one and only friend, the one who got close to him when he was pushing everyone away. Then Kakashi remembers Obito saying, "Those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. If I'm gonna be called scum, either way, I'd rather break the rules. If that's not being a proper shinobi, then I'll destroy that idea." Bursts at speed, activates his Chidori, and puts as much as chakra as possible in it. Kakashi destroyed the rock that was about to hit the Obito into billions of pieces. Oh, that's the next question, but yeah. Obito smiled and looked at Kakashi, and then turned to Rin to realize one of the rocks that had slit her throat, and a large amount of blood was coming out of her throat. Obito ran to Rin, but he was too late. As Rin fell to the ground, and the cave started to collapse. Obito, seeing the one he loved falling to the ground, dead, began to cry. In all the sadness and agony, Obito awaked his 3 Tomoe Sharingan and even his Mangekyo as well. Because of all the stress, Obito collapsed to the ground unconscious. Kakashi, with one arm, picked up Obito and ran out of the cave. Yeah, by the way, Kakashi lost his arm because of the Chidori, and he puts so much chakra into it. Yeah. Later, after Kakashi and Obito met up with Miyato, on the way back to the village, Team 7 were dead quiet, all pondering on the death of their comrade. Obito losing his crush, Kakashi losing a teammate, and Miyato losing a student. We go to Miyato's perspective as well, as he walks to his house in silence, as he's wondering on if he could have saved Rin from dying. Miyato, sensing someone behind him, looked behind him and saw Kakashi with a sad smile. "Kakashi, you know everyone dies." Kakashi replies to Miyato, "I know, sensei." Miyato hugs Kakashi and says, "Kakashi, it's all fine. It will be all fine." We go to Obito, who is crying over the death of his crush in his apartment. Now, that doesn't really matter, but anyways, let's continue. So everything kind of goes the same with the third war and Miyato becoming Hokage, but obviously the yellow masked man that releases the Nine Tails, obviously it's not Obito, you'll know later who it is. And he destroys a good part of the village, and Miyato steals him with Nine Tails and dies with Kushina like cannon. Now, Obito and Kakashi just become really Anbu, and after that, they're on the same team. Then eventually they leave the Anbu by the orders of the third Hokage and become Jonin. Now you might be wondering, about the Uchiha massacre. Well, the Uchiha did get massacred, but Obito didn't leave it where the Uchiha lived, so he didn't die. And yeah, and also Obito in this one is really strong, and Itachi really knew that Obito would be a difficult person to beat. So yeah, he didn't kill him. Now we're going to go to when Obito is walking to his academy to meet his new team, Team 7. Now Obito obviously is late by 3 hours, right, because he's still lazy, right? So has that attitude. And when he walks into the academy classroom, a bucket rubber falls on his head, right? The same as times that Naruto did it, right? We did to Kakashi, that happens to him. And he smiles and says, "Hello team," right, and Kakashi, and obviously he's like, "Oh, this is a Jonin." He fell for a trick and everything. Obviously Obito knew the rubber was there, he just couldn't be bothered, right? Lazy. But obviously Sasuke doesn't know that. Now obviously Team 7 all meet up at the top floor of the building of the academy, and they talk about what they like and dislike. And Obito obviously goes first, and he talks about multiple stuff like how he likes, what foods he likes, um, his dislikes, etc. Right? And then he obviously his dreams to become a Hokage, right? Which is an honorable dream. Now, Naruto obviously does his dream, Sasuke does just his dream, and Sakura does her dream. Whatever, we know what it is, right? So yeah, now Obito talks about the bell test, and he's smiling while talking about this because it is pretty funny, because he's been gone through this before, and he wants to rough up rough them up a bit, if you get what I'm trying to say. Um, and now all Team Seven is like kind of shocked that they have to do another test. Like wow, like they're all annoyed at this moment about this. But obviously they do the bell test the next day, and Obito, starts the bell test, and obviously Naruto runs at Obito, and Obito thinks this is pathetic, right? Like, but it is what it is. And Obito, as he looks at Naruto while attacking him, he thinks Naruto, he reminds him of himself so much, right? And he says, "Sensei, your son, he's amazing, right?" And that's what he's thinking, right? And Naruto attacks him, and Obito obviously bodies Naruto like he's nothing, right? And what happens later is that then Sasuke attacks Obito. Obviously, Sasuke gets destroyed, and Obito tells Sasuke that the arrogance it's not a good thing, and he is definitely right about that. And Obito thinks if Team Seven passed the exam, they might tell Kakashi to like talk to Sasuke because they have similarities. If you get what I'm trying to say, because how like they're both like but whatever, yeah. He thinks that Obito thinks that Kakashi and Sasuke have some similarities, which they do. Um, Now, by the way, so Kakashi doesn't have the Chidori. Doesn't have, sorry, Kakashi doesn't have the Sharingan, but he's still strong. Obviously, he's still not weak. He's still he's probably even stronger than what he was in Part One, Naruto. But yeah, now obviously after all this stuff, the belt test kind of goes similar, same way, and obviously Team Seven pass, right? Because the Sakura and Sasuke give the food to Naruto. Now, the team starts doing small missions, like small little missions of D ranks, right? These D ranks consisted of, let's say, gardening, taking care of elderly people, so on, so, right? Simple stuff. Painting the walls, yeah. Now, when they go to the Hokage office to ask for another mission, Naruto slams his hand on the ground with anger, and he's like, "No, like third Hokage, we need to get a mission." And Obito thinking, that like Naruto really does have similarities to him, if you am trying to say. Now, obviously, third Hokage asks Obito if he thinks the team are ready, and he says, "Yeah, I think the team is ready, right?" And the third Hokage is like, "That's perfectly fine, right? It makes sense. You guys, you're a good team." Um, Now, what happens next is that they obviously go. Tozuno comes into the Hokage office, and yeah, whatever. His drunk ass comes in, and he spouts some nonsense, right? Then the next day, the team's ready to go to the Land of Waves. Now, when Naruto is walking to the gates of the village to meet up with Sakura, Sasuke, and Obito and Tozuno, on the way, obviously, Obito tells Naruto, wait up, I need to talk to you." And he talks to Naruto about how with his dream about being Hokage, and obviously explains to him that it's important that and he basically explains to Naruto that I find similarities in you, and you're a great kid, but you must work hard for the things in life, and not take things for granted that you already have. Now, this is a lesson for Naruto, essentially, because Obito knows that Naruto potentially could control the Nine Tails in the future. And Obito's idea is that so Naruto can use his own strength, right? So he can become strong. Now, this is good also as well. And remember, I forgot to tell you guys, in the bell test, Obito still obviously told Team 7 about the bell test, why people who abandon their friends are scum, blah blah, something like that. He still explains that. But anyways, yeah. When they get to the gates, obviously Naruto thanks Obito, and they go to the Land of Waves. Everyone goes. Now on the way, Sasuke picks up the trail by obviously the what's called the Chunin brothers. They attack obviously, but this time Obito takes him out really quickly because he's not like Kakashi, right? His teaching method is different. So yeah, he beats up the Chunin brothers in like half a second, right? Like he basically blitzes them, right? And after he's done, they all go to they keep going, and suddenly there's some mist around them, and obviously he's like Obito asks Tozuna like, is this like does this happen a lot? No, and just like, oh yeah, it's normal, it's perfectly fine, but you know, Obito's a bit suspicious, right? Now out of nowhere, a flying sword attacks them, and instantly Obito says duck, and everyone ducks, right? And Obito pushes Tozuna to the ground because obviously he's not a ninja, doesn't have their reaction time, and speed. So then after the sword hits the wood, right, the tree, and on the hilt is Zabuza Mawashi, and Zabuza says, "Oh, is it not Obito, the famous Sharingan user, right?" Obviously, Obito will have Kakashi's name of like the copycat ninja and everything. We'll just do that, and Kakashi and Obito fight their battle. Now in this one, Obito absolutely stomps Zabuza, right? He basically beat his cap out of him, right? And after all this, like he does the water dragon jutsu and kind of beats him up. Now it doesn't Naruto and Sasuke don't even need to help. I mean, this is Obito. So yeah, and then they go to Tozuna's house, right? But obviously because then Haku still takes Zabuza away. So yeah, now that's the episode for now, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Next episode will be the finishing the Land of Waves arc, and after that we'll be doing the tuning exams, and yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Have a good day. Bye.